So I'm going to kick off things with the first question. Terry, are you ready? All right.
Sure am.
Good. What is the state of philanthropy in the National Capital Region, and what role do the millennials play in the moving forward the philanthropic movement in the National Capital Region?
So what is the state of philanthropy? Well, I think philanthropy in the region is very healthy. There are more and more people interested in giving to the community. And by giving, I'm speaking far beyond simply dollars and cents. I'm talking about time, talent, and treasure, and people who are committed to the region. Nathan mentioned that he's worked at OMB and been here for about 10 years. When I first arrived in the region and when I first actually took this position, I arrived in the region back when some of you all were probably born in 1981. I came here to go to grad school. And at that time, you know, it was really very separate, the federal city and the district. And the thinking was people don't give in the District of Columbia and the region because people aren't from here. They give back where they come from. And while I think that that's true, people do tend to contribute to their alma maters, and if there are cultural institutions, hospitals, educational institutions that are not higher education maybe, that people are connected to, they certainly do make contributions to those organizations. But I think far more people do see this as home because far more people get stuck, like I did. You come here, you say, I'm going to school, next thing you know, you're married. And you have bills, and you have, you know, and so here, this is home. And in fact, for me, I've been here in the region longer than I've lived anyplace else, even though I'm a Chicagoan. I didn't live in Chicago as long as I've lived here. So I think that philanthropy is quite healthy, robust. I think that, now you're gonna have to help me out. So give me the age range for millennials, because I get them all confused.
So the popular belief, it's around 19, 18 to about 40.
Okay.
Some other folks have said it's to about 35.
So here's what's interesting to me about this group. You've grown up doing this stuff. The service requirement, community service requirements in school, from middle school through high school. It's a part of your DNA. That wasn't a part of what I came up with, you know. Now, with that said, I had parents and grandparents who didn't ever talk the philanthropy. I didn't learn how to spell that until probably, you know, when I got this job. But my mother said she had a for-profit dance school that never made any money because she was always giving it away. And so, you know, my grandmother was a teacher, and so there were always kids in the house because she was always tutoring. My grandfather was a civil servant. He worked at the post office in Chicago, but he was an artist. And so on the side, he did publicity art for sports in particular, and other things in the community. So everybody was always doing something, but I didn't know that there was a name to it. I just knew that's the way we operated in our community. So what I find interesting about your age range is that it's just in the DNA, but formally in your DNA, whereas for me, it wasn't formal, because I didn't know what to call it. It just was what we did. You all know what to call it. You know that there's a certain amount of time that you need to actually be considering devoting to something other than developing your own largesse. And I think that you understand that in doing that, there's a gain to you that you receive. It's not just a gain to the folks that you are helping. In fact, I often think that philanthropy is almost more beneficial to the philanthropist than to I mean, it's good for the greater society, obviously, but there's something about putting yourself and your needs on the back burner and looking at the needs of other folks and how you can actually contribute. That really goes a long way for your own self-development.